Good evening, everyone. I'm Kat Sticker, and welcome to Soul Shift Thursdays, right here in the Soul Shifters Guild Facebook group. And we're also simulcasting to Twitch and YouTube. So a lot of people have the opportunity to join this broadcast and learn something. So I just want to welcome everyone. I want to thank you for giving me grace for being off for a couple of weeks. That first week I wasn't feeling that well, and then last week I was on spring break vacation with my family, and I got to go to Georgia and visit with my family a little bit. I don't get to see them that often, so it was a really nice getaway. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about the top 5 ways to achieve balance. Now, why am I bringing up this topic today? Well, we just we just passed through the spring equinox, and that's when we have um, equal amounts of day, of light and dark in the day, right? So that is why I was thinking, it made me think about balance. And everyone wants to achieve balance in their life, but do we even really have we even really defined what balance is or what balance looks like? And so I want to talk a little bit about that today. And and there's there's many ways that we can work on achieving balance in our life, right? For instance, I love to have my zebra jasper crystal nearby. The black and white stripes on there are layered, and it's supposed to be representative of balance. And this crystal, this is like a really big, heavy crystal, and it's got a really sharp point. You could kill somebody with that thing. Woo! Um, but anyway, I like to keep this around. It not only reminds me of balance, but um, I do feel that kind of vibe when I'm around it. And I have a smaller version that I really like to hold. This one I kind of just display. But can this crystal help me to achieve balance in my life? Really? I don't think so. I think that is a tool you can use to focus on achieving balance, but that by itself is not going to give you balance in your life. I also like to use this doTERRA oil, essential oil balance. And this blend has spruce in it, some hoe wood, frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and it smells really good. You can really smell the spruce, and it does make me feel like grounded, relaxed, get kind of that balanced feeling for a little while. But will this help you to achieve balance in your life? Not really at a deeper level. So, what can though? I think we have to search deeper than just using a few little crutches here and there when we talk about balance. So, is balance equal amounts of light and dark in your life? Who thinks that? I'm gonna hold on. Let me look at the comments in case anybody comments. All right, so I don't think that it's equal amounts of anything. I think that balance is going to be unique to the individual. It's what you think balance is in your life, and it's not going to be equal amounts. Because, for instance, if I was sad half the time and happy half the time, would I feel balanced if I'm sad half of my life? Probably not. That would feel the opposite of balanced. So it's not always an equal amount that we're looking to achieve. Um, but I know that when we're out of balance, that we can feel a lot more anxiety, depression. You could feel fatigued, and it can make you angry, frustrated, and you have all these kind of feelings. Um, but when you're in balance, what do you think that looks like for you? I mean, it's probably looks different for everyone. It could be what's out of balance in your life right now, for instance. Is it your relationships? Is it work life balance? Like, or you're working too much and you don't have enough time with your family. Or maybe it's the opposite. You don't have any work and you're having financial issues and your finances are out of balance. So there's a lot of things that could be out of balance in your life. And I'll tell you what, there's probably not going to be a time when everything in your life is in balance. And or that stay once you get something in balance, is it going to stay in balance? It's something you're going to have to work on all the time to try to get things in as much balance as possible, right? So we're going to just look at a few ways um, that can help you to achieve balance in the areas that you're interested in. So right now, I want you to think about those what the areas of your life that need more balance as we go through these things, and then consider whether you think that any of these ways could help you in those areas. And think about how you feel when you're out of balance and how you feel when you're more in balance, right? And also think even more granular, like on a scale. Remember I said equal amounts of light and dark, or equal amounts of work and home. That is not necessarily the goal to have equal amounts. It's you probably want more of the positive thing to make you feel in balance, not equal amounts. So how much do you personally need of one thing or the other to stay in that balance? Think about those things as we go through. um All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, guess what? You thought I was going to say meditation, because that's always the go-to thing, isn't it? Meditation. Hey Dash. Hey Michael. Um, you thought I was going to say meditation, because I always say meditation for everything, but meditation is not on my top 5 list for this. And although meditation is nice, um, and can help you, it probably can help you with balance. I didn't want to put that on there on this list purposefully, because there's some other things that I think are also important that may be overlooked. And one of these is time management, because it's real easy, especially with how fast our society in the Western world works, how we're always overcommitting ourselves and we're running from one activity to the next. Now, I'll be honest with you, the COVID thing last year, that put an end to a lot of that. And I think people really became aware of how much, well, at least for me, I became aware of how much I was committed to, how out of balance I was with all the things I had to keep running to like a marathon all the time. I was not really very happy with that. And right now, I'm I'm still kind of overcommitted, but at least I'm doing things that I want to do. And there, some of these things are for a temporary period of time, um, to get to the next level, and then it should even out after that. So I do feel a lot more in balance now with that than I did previously. Before, my life was a marathon, and I am a really good time manager, so I must have been super overcommitted. But one thing I've learned over the years with time management is you can take on a lot if you plan ahead. And that's the thing. I'm a planner. I'm always planning the next thing. You got to plan way ahead, and you have to keep some sort of calendar and to-do lists and things like that to organize yourself. You have to have organization, write things down, and plan accurately of how much time each thing is going to take. Now, in life, things happen, and things don't always run on schedule, right? But for the most part, your major activities should, um, for the most part, stay on schedule. And if you have things that are recurring, like I know every Tuesday and Thursday, the kids have soccer practice or whatever. You can pencil that in way in advance, and then you don't have other conflicting items. Also, with time management, um, you gotta, it's really your decision to commit or overcommit. So you got to learn to say no to things. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to say no, but that's really in your best interest sometimes to not overcommit, to over promise and under deliver. We want to under promise and over deliver, and that makes us look really good in the end. So I think that everybody has a lot of things they want to accomplish, and time management can really help you keep your sanity. And there's all kinds of information about time management out there. If you're not a very good manager of your time, not good with prioritization or planning or keeping a schedule, or if you have the type of schedule that's very unpredictable. I know some people do, and you don't know when stuff's going to occur. But part of that then is maintaining that little attitude of flexibility in yourself and knowing which things that you can let go of, which things you can decline quickly, and you don't have a lot of people depending on you to do it because something else changed and now you can't do this thing. Because when you have conflicting obligations, that can really stress you out and make you very out of balance. So you want to, if you have a very unpredictable schedule, I would suggest committing to fewer things. And that way you have more flexibility to change, the timing, and then things don't conflict as much. All right. I got some comments. Let's see. Hey, Mark. Hey, Nessa. Okay, so our next thing, build and rely on community. Now, I think this one is going to be pretty hard for some people, many people, including myself. I think this is one of the most important things, and here's why, and here's what it means, really. You've heard about you need a supportive network, right? And one of the main factors, I guess, like a mitigating factor for people that have depression or other mental health issues that are on, questionnaires from like mental health care providers, or um, these surveys where you can see like how stressed out you are, and they ask like, do you have a supportive network? Well, that's because it's very important to have people supporting you. And when you just say, I don't need anybody, or I'm too introverted and I don't want to reach out to people, or I don't like to ask for help, that is not supporting your own best interest. And at the end of the day, when you need help and you're by yourself, you won't have it. There's a lot of things when I say build and rely on your community. Well, you can start with family. That's the easiest because family's kind of stuck with you for the most part. But if you can rely on people in your family and you have a close-knit family, that's really good because, and I'll give you an example. I feel supported when my husband, he's so sweet, when I'm stressed out and I'm got all this stuff to do and I've overcommitted and I've got to go here and do this and I'm really stressed out with work. And he does some simple tasks around the house that help me out, like maybe picking up the kids from school, or doing the dishes, or, something that would have been an extra thing that I had to do that now I don't have to do because I can rely on him to do it. That is very helpful. Now, what about like if you get sick and, someone brings you meals because you had to have surgery and you can't do a lot for 6 weeks. And some people get together in your community and bring your family meals because you can't cook. That's something that I've been part of these groups that regularly do that for people. And it's a big help. It's really appreciated, and it makes them feel supported. And that's part of that, of feeling balanced, is when you have that security feeling of, I know that somebody's got my back. I don't have to worry about every single little thing. There's some things that are covered by other people. That's really helpful. So if you can reach out to other people, and not just for physical things, but for emotional support as well. I mean, online communities, these groups like we have here are really good. You can, send in prayer requests, and you think people won't pray for you and stuff, but they will. There are people who will and that care. So we should really focus on supporting each other, and it's not just take, take, take. It's a give and take, right? So if it's just one-sided, then that's out of balance, right? So we got to think about that as well. All right, what's next? Sleep, even better than meditation. So sleep, I put as number 3 because a lot happens when you're sleeping for body, mind, and spirit. Your body is repairing itself and is repairing the brain. And if you don't have enough sleep, you will feel out of balance. Things will not go well for you. And I don't mean just like one night not having sleep. I mean like consistently not getting enough rest. But when you get enough sleep, your body's repairing itself. Your mind is sorting through all the things of the day. You don't even know it or remember it. But the dream sleep that you have is really helping with that. And also spiritually, you're connecting with your higher self, and you're having that community with just the collective consciousness, and that is really going to support you on a lot of levels. So I believe that sleep is important. Now, sleep can be out of balance too, where you have too much sleep, and that's not really good for you either. But it's not as bad as too little sleep. So try to get enough rest, and if you don't have enough time to rest, it's that time management thing. Go back to number 1 and start over. All right. So number 4, connection with nature. Now this is kind of a really good cure-all as well. And when I say connection with nature, I do mean going outside, connecting with all the elements, and with animals, with nature spirits, whatever makes you feel connected to nature, but do it and try to get outside to do it, and try to do it as much as possible. Every day is good. And people don't really spend that much time outdoors anymore. I mean, some people do, but very few people. So the more that you can get outside, I know there's bad weather and stuff like that that prevents us, or we're busy and we can't get out. But the more we can, the more you're going to find balance, because guess what? Everything in nature operates in cycles, and you're going to start syncing up with the cycles of nature, and that is going to help you find balance. Now, when you look at anything in your life, it's going in a cycle. There's a pattern. And if you start syncing up with nature cycles, it's going to help you find balance in your life. All right. Now, number 5 is the doozy. Responsibility for choices. And you're like, well, what does that have to do with balance? Well, it just does. So there's a lot of situations in our lives that are a result directly of decisions we've made, or it could be that we chose not to make a decision, and that's a decision as well. And if we feel out of balance with something, for instance, maybe it's a relationship, that's out of balance. Um, think about how you what is your responsibility for that? I mean, don't just blame everything on others, or or not just others, but things that happen. Blame it on the weather, blame it on this or that. A lot, see what responsibility you have for that. And then also, what responsibility can you take for changing your situation? And this is the kicker, and this is the most important part. And what I've learned about responsibility is that a lot of times we think we don't have choices, that we're stuck into a situation, and it's our beliefs that are flawed. And there really is another way to do things that's more balanced, or that could bring balance to you. But you just don't know it. You haven't thought enough about it. You just take for granted that it can't change. And I see a lot of people thinking that way, and they'll post about their situation, and that they're stuck in the situation, and they have it's like they don't see a way out, when someone from the outside maybe can see some options, but that person's already convinced that they don't have an option. So I have a little exercise for you that that you can do to maybe look into seeing if some things are a false belief, and that you could change a pattern to make a positive change and bring more balance to your life where you need to. And this is a really good time to do that because it's spring, and spring is a time of not only new beginnings, but it's a time where we can look at beliefs that are holding us back from new beginnings. Oh, it looks like I got some comments. Let me check it out. Getting outside somewhere peaceful always makes me feel better. Hi, Sarah. Yes, it does. It really does. All right. So let me show you what I have on this exercise, because what the purpose of this exercise is to allow you to take back your power over situations in your life that are out of balance. So the first thing, this is I've got two banners for this, because it's kind of long. So if you want to take some notes, write down the things that are out of balance in your life right now. So you could just make a laundry list. But then narrow it down to like one or two things. You don't want this to take a year to do, right? And the top things that you feel are out of balance, or the worst out of balance, what would you like it to look like and feel like instead? And don't worry about, I can't do this, I can't. Just like if the sky's the limit, you don't have any limitations, what would you like it to be like? Just visualize that. All right. Then think about, what is one action that you could do if you didn't have any restrictions, like monetary restrictions, people saying you can't do it, other obligations preventing you from doing it, whatever it is. What is one thing you could do if you didn't have restrictions, a thing that you think would be probably effective? And what are the exact barriers to that change? What's keeping you from doing it? And then take that into meditation with yourself and see if ask your guides, or ask your higher self, if those are false beliefs. Where is that coming from? And just take a walk. And you don't have to be like in a sitting down meditation. A lot of times walking, that exercise really stimulates yourself, and you'll be able to work through it. I mean, to me, sometimes the trees whisper to me. I'll hear answers from the trees or from the wind. So walk with it and see what you come up with, and see if you can't come up with at least one action you can do to change your situation and bring more balance in that area. So what do you think about that? I think we all have some areas that are going to be out of balance that we can take some action on. Speaking of, okay, so I drew a card for the group for this session right before I went live from this deck. It's the Fairy Tarot card deck by Radley Valentine, and my question was, what does a group what was my question? It was, what does the group need to do to be more in balance, or what does the group need to consider to be more in balance? And I drew this card. I didn't know what to think of it at first. Prince of Spring. And is this coming out blurry? I think you can read it. Prince of Spring, charming, self-confident, passionate, restless, and it says immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage, a passionate relationship. And what I see here is this prince riding a racing hare, and this hare, this rabbit, is rushing him from one activity to the next. He's trying to stay balanced on the back of this hare. So this was a very synchronistic card to have drawn for this. Also notice spring, and spring is the spring equinox is kind of what brought about this topic for me to cover today. And immediate action. We're talking about taking action, right, to change our situation with regard to our balance. A challenge you can successfully manage. And what that says to me is you can do this. You can achieve balance. Have faith in yourself. Be self-confident. All right. Be passionate about what you want in your life, and then take the steps to make it happen, and to make your life be enjoyable for as much as you can. I mean, things happen, but there's so many areas of our life that we could consider, like what's in balance and what's not. So anyway, that's what I had for today. Someone says, this is so perfect for me right now and aligns perfectly with my current shadow work challenge. Oh, that's Nessa. I love it. Well, I love it too, Nessa, and I love you. And I hope that everyone has a chance to consider where they can achieve more balance in their life. And I know that you will achieve it, at least for a little while. So next week, let's see. Oh, resonates so much. All right. So next week, I'm going to cover the pillar of body. So I went out of order again. I don't know if I'll ever be in order on the body, mind, spirit, whatever that way. But I wanted to cover this topic because it was closer to spring equinox. And next time I want to talk about body and how you can leverage your emotional state for healing your body. So that'll be an interesting topic next Thursday. Also, upcoming workshop. I have one workshop left that's scheduled before summer, and that is the Mind Benders workshop on April 17th with Michael Sticker and myself. Will be hosting that on our On Learning website. And you can also get to that from moonglowlife.com and just click on the learning tab. It will take you there. And you can register for that. It's a free workshop. And what we're going to be covering in that is we're going to make some little finger labyrinths. So if you register in advance, I can send you the file so you can print that out in advance, so you can print out your finger labyrinth and maybe even have it ready for the workshop. And but I will have it posted in the workshop as well. And we'll be doing some meditation on that in the labyrinth, and figuring out how we can use that to create abundance for ourselves, to manifest. And so that is coming up in April. And then I will have some more workshops in the fall, but we'll probably be taking a break for summer because, summer people are always on vacation and traveling and stuff. So we'll take a little break from the workshops. And I might be able to do a class or something, like a longer class in the summer. We'll see. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. And if you're joining us from another platform other than Facebook, be sure to check out our Facebook group, Soul Shifters Guild. Thank you. And let me take my comments one more time. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Good night.